And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to DreamHack Atlanta 2022 Group Stage 3 replay cast. Once again, I am your host, Light VIP, and I'm not alone. Today, I am joined this lovely evening by the one, the beautiful, the AsherBro.
Gah, you are alone in your views, but you are not alone.
Gah! Oh my god. Well, what may be beautiful here this evening is we had a pretty quality group last time. It was 2 days ago. We casted a group with the likes of Cyril, Bunny, Cure, Lambo, with some quality TVZ matchups. Even I'll be honest, some quality TVT as well, you know? Like, how often do you get a base trade? Like the nonsense that we got.
Oh yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
We had a lot of good games, and it's a lot to live up to, but we also today have a group with a lot of quality players as well.
I thought you were going to be like, well, last time we had a group with a lot of quality players, and this time they're all just clowns, so it should be a blast.
This time they're all animals, Papi. They're all animals.
You're like, none of them are Zerg. They don't know what they're doing. They're just mucking around with the OP races.
Look, they're not even making any queens, mate. What's going on? True. For those wondering, of course, you can see some of our starting players, but we are here in Group G. And Group G involves players like HeRoMaRinE, Showtime, Special, and Zoun.
Yeah, there we go. We've got the two German powerhouses. We've got a Special who has been a little bit out of form lately, but always a very strong player and a player that can take maps off pretty much anyone. He's got some wild build orders. And Zoun's a player as well that I feel like he was in a slump and he's coming out of it right now.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think we've had a couple of discussions about Zoun before, especially in WTL, where, you know, it felt like 2021 and 2020 were kind of like his year. He was really breaking into the top echelons of Korean StarCraft, and it kind of lulled a little bit, especially this year. But you're right, like, he's still an amazing player. In WTL, we've seen him really just excelling, and that's why his team is doing well as well. But at an offline event, you know, things can sometimes be different.
Yeah, for sure. There's more pressure, there's more stress, especially with the extra travel. It can be a little bit difficult, especially for the Koreans. There's not many places they can travel to where it's not going to be pretty out of the way. But yeah, we'll see how he can go in this group. I know historically, he hasn't done particularly well against HeRoMaRinE.
Yeah. I mean, HeRoMaRinE, he's top 2 Terran in EU. You know, he's amazing at what he does. And personally, I don't really get to see too much of him. I know, you know, being a Terran player, you're probably a little bit more familiar with him. But I'm really excited. I'm always excited to see kind of the clash of the regions here. You know, whenever we have a top tier NA or European player going up against a Korean.
Yeah, it tends to be a kind of funny thing where different matchups perform differently between the regions. So like TvT, for example, I feel like Korea is a lot stronger than EU. But then we used to have this meta in ZVP where Lambo would just farm the Korean Protosses. So sometimes you have like different ways that the matchups work. And I feel like HeRoMaRinE kind of has the number of most of the Protosses in Korea, apart from Hero.
Oh yeah. I mean, Hero, he's kind of like his own, he's a different beast, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, no one's got Hero's number, to be fair.
No one's got his number. We want his number though, Papi. We want.
Yeah.
We want.
He says you got the wrong number.
Smooch, Papi, smooch. Oh god. But last, we did not have a group with Hero here. Not yet. I'm sure we'll be covering him at some point later on. And yeah, I guess we're gonna start off with a bang here. HeRoMaRinE versus Zoun. Zoun, a player who is looking to prove himself, especially in these offline settings. HeRoMaRinE, someone who has been a little bit more on fire, you know. You know, he's still, you could argue, in the shadow of Clem a little bit, especially in his own region, but he is still a very terrifying opponent.
Yeah, HeRoMaRinE's been starting to take some games off some people that I wouldn't really expect of late. It feels like he's really stepped it up, and he's gotten a little bit faster as well, which is kind of cool to see for a player that's been around for so long. But here he is, spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map. Playing for Mouse Esports, this is HeRoMaRinE.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Moondance, we have his opponent, the South Korean Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is Zoun.
Now, one thing I have to talk about right off the bat is I'm surprised to see Moondance in a TvP. I would usually expect the Protoss to veto Moondance. I feel like it's a very strong map in TvP because of the short rush distance and the lack of ramp at the natural. We've been seeing Terrans abuse 1 base all-ins, 2 base all-ins, especially with tanks, and they look really hard to hold.
Yeah, and it's quite possible that a part of that could also be something like a shift or just what people are used to in certain regions as well. As I say that, you know, the builds that you're talking about, especially like the hyper-aggressive builds, I feel like we see that a lot from players like Beyond, like Gumiho, you know, so Zoun should be pretty familiar with that. So very interesting that he did indeed allow this through the vetoes.
Yeah, it's a little bit unusual. I don't know if there's some other maps that maybe he just doesn't feel that comfortable, especially playing against HeRoMaRinE on, but he is going to opt for this a bit of a scary map. This is a map that most people have been going for, early tank pushes with the medevac just to get that tank there even faster, and setting up on that low ground where the Protoss can be kind of trapped in by their own wall as well. So we'll have to see if that's what HeRoMaRinE's going to go for.
Yeah, and we'll see if that does happen, how confident Zoun is to defend against that and to scout it and to prepare for it. For the time being, you know, we talk about it quite a bit, but we have a 2-gas opener here from HeRoMaRinE. He's not going to be greedy on a map like Moondance, and there's no reason or not much reason to be, just because you were just saying, you know, you can be quite aggressive on it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most of these early pushes are going to start with a double gas opening. He's going to go for the CC on the high ground, so not going to be 1 base all inning, but still a lot of options here. As for the Protoss, looks like Zoun is setting up to possibly go for a Twilight Council opener. He has gone for a Stalker second, so probably not going to be a Stargate, and there's the Twilight Council.
Yeah, there we go. Twilight Council is going to be thrown down. The Stalker chilling here in the main base, waiting for the Reaper to dip on in. So far, some decent micro from HeRoMaRinE, just dancing here with the Adept, trying to be as annoying as possible, but that isn't going to lose too much HP on that Reaper. Oh.
Yeah, HeRoMaRinE always does this. It's very, very aggressive. You can actually very slightly outrange Adepts with Reapers. It's pretty hard to do, but it is possible, especially using the Nexus to help you out. And he's already gotten a bit of damage on that Adept.
Yeah, not too bad getting that whole damage. Now with the second Reaper, he's going to have a bit of an easier time. He's going to dip in towards the main base. Ooh, Zoun moves back at the wrong moment, and a couple of probes may get picked up.
Yeah, Zoun just a little bit distracted by that Hellion popping in towards that natural there. The Hellion is going to dip back in, but with that shield battery there, not going to be able to get too much damage. Looks like Zoun has mostly deflected this for now, but HeRoMaRinE keeps his units.
Yeah, he keeps his units alive. He got 1 probe kill. He also was able to scout and confirm the Twilight Council. I believe he also saw it researching as well. It looks like he wants to dive back in for a bit of confirmation. He also dishing out even more DPS with the Hellion on the low ground. Oh my god.
Yeah, so Adept getting very low. Zoun has been forced to make another Stalker. He's just going into a 2-gate blink setup so far. Might see him getting a fast third in the back there as well, but no, there's going to be a 3rd gate first. Meanwhile, for HeRoMaRinE, he's actually just going for a mine drop, so no fast tank aggression.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He's going to be relying a lot more on just harassing that mineral line instead, just going for that multi-prong aggression. The medevac is already making its way across the map. And as you were kind of saying, Zoun, it looks like he is setting up for maybe a faster 3rd Nexus. He already has a pylon there in the back base, just in case a drop were to come in that direction.
Yeah, there we go. So Zoun playing quite standardly here. We do see HeRoMaRinE poking around the front, just trying to find out where those Stalkers are to help set up his mine drop. At the same time, behind this, just being very safe, going for a Raven, going for a tank. So this is just a very standard, safe way to play the matchup.
Oh, definitely. And we do see the drop coming in towards the main base and a Widowmine waddling in towards the natural as well. The boys are being pulled. The buy shot, it's going off!
Oh, not the best decision making there from Zoun. I like the aggression of the choice to try to kill that mine straight away, but the execution not quite there. Unfortunately, we'll be losing 6 probes here.
Oh yeah, that was brutal to see. Unfortunately, it looked like the aim of the probe was actually like body blocking himself, and he actually couldn't get a proper surround on the Widow mine. So a little bit of a misstep there. But Zoun, he has his prism. He can be aggressive across the map. This isn't 4 gate, only 3 gateways behind this, so not as aggressive as he could have been, but regardless, he wants to try and deal some counter damage.
Yeah, this is something that Hero has popularized as a response to double gas openers from the Terran. It's just going for a Prism and going for a little bit of Stalker Harass. It can be pretty easy to get some damage with these without taking too much hull damage or losing any Stalkers. As I say that, Zoun almost losing the Stalker there, but you're pretty much just trading shields for almost free damage here. It's a good idea to go for.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, he would have liked to have done a little bit more here, but he was actually forced to recall his Stalkers at the natural, just because Reaper slipped on in, so he had to try and prepare for that instead. In the end, he's able to keep all of his Stalkers alive, though. There we go. He does take that third in his pocket.
Yeah, that's right. And meanwhile, behind this, we do have the Robo Bay being started up. We've got Charge on the way as well. So Zoun also just looking to play this in a very standard way. Both players kind of playing things safe and standard, trying to feel each other out.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing too crazy out of Zoun from HeRoMaRinE. He's still just ramping up and getting ready with his upgrade. Stims on the way, +1 and combat shields. Kind of what we expect to be seeing. And I guess we're waiting to see if he throws down additional production or just a third CC behind this.
Yeah, it looks like HeRoMaRinE's been maybe a little bit distracted by what's been going on there. Had to make that extra Viking as well just to help deal with the Prism. So a little bit delayed with his push, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, he even gets the Observer as well, so a decent pick off there. He does actually throw down his third CC on location in his pocket. Again, you can afford to be a little bit more greedier on a map like Moondance. He's actually been making quite a bit of Marauders as well, you know, quite a hefty army he has available to him.
Yeah, there we go. Nice timing with the Reaper run by as well. He's going to net himself 3 probes, so pretty good damage for units that don't really have too much of a use anymore. Get some nice scouting too.
Yeah, he gets confirmation of the Bay, he gets confirmation of the Robo account as well, even the Forge on the low ground. Doesn't quite see the Gateway explosion, but he doesn't care. He's pushing through the middle of the map, the Nova goes off.
Ooh. Yeah, Zoun being a little bit sneaky, a little bit cheeky, bit of a signature move of his to have that random disruptor out in the middle of the map, trying to catch that move out. Zoun does go for disruptors a lot earlier than a lot of other players. Typically you would go for Colossus in this position, but Zoun does like to get a bit cheeky.
Yeah, a little bit of a riskier move as well, because if your Novas don't connect, then it's kind of dead supply. You may be buying some time, but you don't have that consistent splash damage. Right now, he's waiting for another Nova to open up, and he does have one available.
Yeah, there we go. We do have that Raven sharking around. One of those Novas will be wasted. We do have the shield battery overcharge being committed, but it feels like Gabe is getting very good damage here. His units are a little bit overstimmed here, but he takes down that disruptor before it can fire.
He even just DPSs through the overcharge as well. The disruptor goes down. The Autotot's doing a great job adding that DPS, and now HeRoMaRinE breaks into the natural.
Yeah, there we go. He's going to be breaking on it through. That Nova does get a pretty good amount of damage, but HeRoMaRinE, he is on top of the probes right now. 5 of them going down straight away. These Stalkers should be able to clean things up, but these losses here for Zoun are unrecoverable.
Yeah, the tank is even coming in as well. Unfortunately, the Robo is depowered, so we don't have any Immortals, we don't have any more Disruptors coming out either. We have to wait for these Warp-ins, and Zoun, there we go, he's going to try and Warp in. Even forces a little bit of friendly fire from those Widow Mines.
Yeah, interesting move, but I don't think it's really going to work out for him. He loses those units. HeRoMaRinE's reinforcements arrive, and GG is called.
GG. And I think what I'm intrigued by is that we didn't really see anything too fancy there from HeRoMaRinE. I guess maybe the biggest thing is the fact that we got to see how high risk and high reward those just going Disruptor first really is, where we got one juicy Nova towards the end, but by that point, it felt a little bit too late, right?
Yeah, I think the Widow Mine damage as well, getting 6 probes there, that's
true.
At this level probably a bit too much. But yeah, HeRoMaRinE very clinical with that, and yeah, the Disruptors didn't really get much done. I feel like if they were Colossus, you could at least hold the front there with that battery.
Yeah, definitely. It can be so difficult to break 1 or even 2 Colossi with an overcharge behind you, dishing out so much damage and just weakening that bio army. But you know, it's kind of Zoun's play style, and we'll see if he's gonna maybe adapt, maybe change things up, continuing on in the series.
Yeah, for sure. So we will hopefully have a little bit of an easier map for him at second as well.
Yeah, it looks like the map of choice is going to be Data Under the Sea, a much more standard map. You could argue a little bit better for Protoss here just because it can be easier to expand and defend your third base, your fourth base even, defending against drops as well, especially with those Zonaga towers. A lot of potential here for Zoun to get more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. This should be a bit of a better map, especially if he wants to go for a style like Phoenix-based style. You do have a bit more room to do something like that.
You're like, I can feel the Phoenix Colossus, Papi. I can feel it.
I mean, I think anyone who doesn't go Phoenix Colossus on this map is crazy. It's free. You get 4 bases for free.
For free, Papi. Why don't they do it?
Yeah, but here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for Mauser Esports, it is the German Terran in the red, HeRoMaRinE.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is Zoun. Boy, so yeah, again, when it came to the last game, what I do feel a little bit worried for Zoun, just because it didn't feel like there was anything too major, just maybe a lapse in judgment when it came to dealing with the Widow Mines, maybe just getting a little bit unlucky or trigger happy with the disruptors. I guess things that can be tightened up here for Zoun in game 2, but if we get something similar again, I worry for him.
Yeah, 100%. And this map also, despite being a bit larger and that being a bit better for Zoun, HeRoMaRinE is really, really good with his timing pushes, especially around the 7-8 minute mark. It's something that you see it on his stream a lot. He basically just makes these 6.5 Protosses look very easy to beat because he has such fantastic knowledge of early and mid game that he can often put together just the perfect push for the situation.
Yeah, and that's really impressive. It can be really, really difficult thing to do, especially because, Terran, when it comes to how they play and the builds and the macro, you typically need a lot of foresight as well just to make your build line up. So, yeah, it's always really impressive to see a player of that caliber looking that good. And we'll see if he can look that good against some of the other, best Protosses out there in the world.
Yeah, exactly. But here we go. We are going to be seeing him go for a bit of a Marine first opener, making his CC on the high ground as well, going for somewhat of a mind game, but it looks like Zoun opting not to scout this time. He's actually just going to be looking around for proxies instead.
Yeah, he goes over towards the top left-hand corner of the map, instead takes control of that Zonaga as well. Very interesting play here. He doesn't actually end up scouting the main base of HeRoMaRinE just to see what the opener was. Okay, now headed in that direction.
Yeah, so interesting timing here on this probe scout. It should be able to get up in there and see everything it needs to see. So nicely done by Zoun. He is just going to wait for the perfect time. So I'm sure he has some kind of timing mapped out in his head, which is probably around when this swap might happen, where he can see what HeRoMaRinE is going for.
Yeah, exactly, and it looks like he goes up the ramp. He does confirm the add-ons on that factory as well. I'm sure this would have been lined up to go in whilst the Reaper's across the map or something along those lines, but alas, there was a Marine first instead, so he isn't allowed in.
Yeah, brilliant scout from Zoun though. Gets that probe out of there, which is crazy, and sees the reactor factory, so that really does narrow it down. This is usually going to be either a Hellion drop or some kind of mine-related attack.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can prepare himself both mentally and physically. You were talking about it. He would be crazy if he would not go for a Stargate Phoenix opener, and that's exactly what we get. He's not crazy.
Yeah, there we go. Stargate Phoenix as well does match up pretty well against reactor factory openings. It is going to help you a lot dealing with Widow Mine drops and the such, and that is what HeRoMaRinE is going for. I think because he's been scouted, I would be surprised to see him throw down an armory, and yeah, it looks like that time has passed as well.
He doesn't overcommit to any of these drops here, recognizing that Zoun is good enough to respond and to be able to prepare. Meanwhile, here we go. We do have a quad mine drop rushing across the map. Can always be a risky thing to do because there are Phoenixes out there, but for the time being, this is going unscouted, as the Phoenixes are actually patrolling in the main, not the natural.
Yeah, and there we go. We do have those Hellions ready to go as well, so HeRoMaRinE might be looking to just blanket the front with these mines and then run the Hellions in behind it.
Oh, and here we go. He boosts on in. He is going to be able to rain down these mines here on top of the gateway units and the mineral line.
Yeah, there you go. So those mines are going to help defend, and the Hellions, they actually run straight on into the main, getting some pretty good damage already. 5 probes going down in total.
Yeah, 6 probes, 7 probes even going down. Finally, the Hellions are going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, the mines are waddling on in. Both of them get picked up though.
Yeah, nice reactions by Zoun. Is going to be able to pick up both of those mines. Takes out one of them. We do have the second one here, but HeRoMaRinE not really paying attention. He is just continuing on with his build behind this.
Yeah, exactly. And for 4 mines and 2 Hellions to get 6 workers, was that worth it? I mean, at least he kept the medevac alive. The medevac is kind of rushing, skirting around the edges of the map, trying to rush back home, trying to avoid these Phoenixes.
Yeah, and there we go. The Phoenixes are going to tip out across the map and get a bit of scouting done.
Oh yeah, and it looks like they are not going to be able to come across the map. Ah, he sees it. He's trying to chase down the medevac, but it's going to be able to boost over to safety. So nicely done. HeRoMaRinE is able to salvage it.
Yeah, saves his units, does have a Viking on the way as well, so making the proper adjustments to the Stargate opener. Does it look like Zoun is going to be going for that Phoenix Colossus style? The Robo Bear is there, so Phoenix Colossus it is.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, with these Phoenixes, you get the map control. You're able to contain your opponent here onto 2 bases and get up those Colossi nice and early. We'll see if HeRoMaRinE can try and punish this in any way, or hopefully he's able to avert disaster and avoid too much damage from these Phoenixes.
Yeah, he should be alright just to zone these Phoenix away. Might even pick up 1 kill here. That was getting pretty close.
Oh.
The Phoenixes are going to put some damage on the Viking, but it should be able to drag back to the Cyclone. Oh, no vision there. Nice pick off for Zoun.
Yeah, the Viking does go down, and that's only the beginning here. Zoun is still just shocking around, looking for a little bit more damage, maybe a stray Marine here and there, maybe even that medevac from earlier as well. And yeah, this is where HeRoMaRinE just has to be a little bit careful not to bleed out too much.
Yeah, exactly. These Phoenix can start to accumulate a little bit of damage that way. But meanwhile, behind this, we see HeRoMaRinE. He's actually going to be going up to, looks like a 5 racks push. So HeRoMaRinE maybe realizing that he got a little bit of damage. That he took a little bit too much damage. And also that he, well, that's the second starport. What the hell? I've never seen this before.
No, I don't blame you. I thought it was another Rax as well.
Yeah.
But no, he's going for 2 starport? Oh my god.
Yeah, so I think, as I was saying, I think he just recognized that his opening didn't get enough damage, and he took a little bit too much damage to the Phoenix as well, and then he just has to go for an all-in. But this is a very creative way to go about it. We do see, looks like the Raven dropping in there, getting some Raven turrets down, denying mining at both bases. So that's some good damage there. That'll help with the all-in.
Yeah, exactly. It does also alleviate some of that pressure as well. Zoun, his attention was at home. HeRoMaRinE is in the middle of moving on out. He's making 4 Vikings at a time. And again, these Vikings are a great way to deal with these Phoenixes and also deal with the Colossi, but 2 of them are getting caught out in the middle of the map.
Yeah, looks like he's come up with this all-in specifically designed to deal with Phoenix Colossus and try to get the kill nice and early. I haven't really seen this before, but considering how greedy Zoun is being with his units, I think this could work.
You know, I want to believe that if you remember at DreamHack Atlanta, HeRoMaRinE, he was exposed to the Dolan. I want to believe this is related. I don't know if it is, but no, actually I know it is. Yeah, 100%. Cap.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I believe you. I've not seen this before.
Oh my god. We'll see. As again, we just have mass Viking here back at home. What's important is that Zoun has not had eyes on this. He's been able to see a couple of Vikings, but he hasn't really been able to see the full force of them.
Yeah, we've got 8 Vikings out. We have that 5 racks production as well. HeRoMaRinE is very all in with this. Is Zoun going to be able to defend? It looks like he's got 3 Colossus already. He's got a Disruptor waiting there. Got some cannon and battery as well. Just now has he realized just what a serious situation this is. He's throwing down extra cannons too. Ooh. This could get pretty dicey.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, due to the observer in the middle of the map, he was able to spot that Viking cannon. He's fully aware of what's going on here. The Disruptors, I feel, are going to be key, as well as that overcharge. We already see the army moving on forward. How good is that first Nova?
Yeah, scan goes down for HeRoMaRinE. It looks like a bit of dancing back and forth. Oh, and he walks back into the Nova. Not the greatest micro there. He's going to be taking a bit of a nasty hit, but still plenty of bio where that came from.
Yeah, still plenty of bio. It looks like only the Cyclone went down to that Nova, so it could have been a lot worse there. We do see the Vikings just powering on forward, already focusing down one of those Colossi.
Yeah, one Colossi going down. Quite a few of these Phoenix going down as well. Only 2 Phoenix remaining. He is just going to wait out that shield battery overcharge. Zoun just desperately trying to get out Zealots and Archons to help deal with what's on the ground, but at the same time, HeRoMaRinE is starting to heal his army back up.
Yeah, we do have a Zealot run by across the map, though, with the natural base of HeRoMaRinE, forcing every single worker off the line here, slowing down his economy that already is struggling. But here we go. Now HeRoMaRiNE's focusing once again on the main fight.
Yeah, there you go. These cannons are going to help a lot with the defense for Zoun, but we do see his Colossus. They're getting taken down without any damage. Looks like the Vikings are going to be able to land now, and HeRoMaRinE just going to jump straight on top of this army.
Oh my.
There's just nothing left.
There's nothing left. Might be the Colossus go down. The Disruptors need a little bit more time. Another Nova's going to be going off, but it misses. The Vikings doing a great job at buffering here, dealing with all of those Archons, and HeRoMaRinE, he's doing it.
He is doing it. He is making the all-in work. He charges on in there. Nice pickups as well, saving a few of those units. His units are getting pretty low, but we've seen he's made some extra medevacs as well. The Vikings have kind of served their purpose now, and there goes that last Disruptor shot. Pretty good micro by HeRoMaRinE to mostly avoid that.
Oh, exactly. He's going to be able to avoid that for the most part. He loads on up. He's going for a double drop in towards the main base. He's kind of reinforcing back in the middle of the map as well. He's actually switching into Liberator production.
Yeah, I am starting to worry a little bit. It does look like Zoun is starting to stabilize, and HeRoMaRinE, he's starting to mine out in his main. So he really needs to get some economic damage, probably start to snowball things right now.
Yeah, he goes to the drop into the main base. He's going to be distracting, pulling away the attention of Zoun. He does pick off the Phoenix, so he's going to be able to pick up and get the hell out of there. At the same time, another double drop slipping in towards the natural.
Yeah, we even have that factory floating into the third, just trying to distract the units, get a little bit of scouting as well. They will put him slightly out of position, but things are looking a little bit dire for HeRoMaRinE. He doesn't have that many units left to make this work.
Yeah, but he doesn't lose too much here in the harassment. It looks like he's joining forces. He's consolidating his army. Another double drop here at the third base. He's going to be baiting out one of these purification Novas. He goes for the Disruptor.
Yeah, good snipe on that Disruptor. There is one more Disruptor going down, and I think, as you were saying, it is time now for him to just consolidate everything, go for one last push.
Yeah, and he's going for it once again. Only one Disruptor to defend. We do have an overcharge here to try and hold the third base of a Zoun. It looks like HeRoMaRinE has to respect it. He's going to back off, picks up a couple of pylons here and there, but oh, he is going to be reinforced by a Liberator.
Yeah, the Disruptor coming in for that next shot. The force field's a little bit lacking, don't quite trap those units there, but every second Zoun is buying himself time to get a bigger army is another second that he could be winning this game. We have the Phoenix coming out as well just to help deal with the air units.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a mass concave here. The reinforcements of HeRoMaRinE are barely enough, fighting outside of the support of the static defense.
Ooh.
Nova's going to be going off, does get a juicy connection, but even with that connection, the Gateway Army falls.
Yeah, it does feel like Zoun just overextended himself there in the defense. GG, HeRoMaRinE takes it down.
Oh my god. GG, well played. HeRoMaRinE with a 2 starport, 2 base all in against Phoenix Colossi. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying that.
Oh my god, that has Asher written all over it, mate. That was crazy. I have to wonder kind of if I'm really curious if this is the first time he did this, especially because I know that you tune into a stream quite a bit and you're familiar with him, but like for you not to have seen that before is pretty interesting. I wonder if other Terran players were kind of experimenting with this, and I wonder if this is going to be a little bit more common. To be fair, like that was still a pretty close game. Zoun almost held, but what I'm thinking of like, say, the next patch, you know, the next patch where Disruptor shots are smaller, you know, so they deal less damage, where the shield battery overcharge is not as powerful as well. So yeah, like doing something like this could even be a little bit better in the weeks and the months to come.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think what happened, I think it's probably not actually a good build, and I think he's probably tried it once or twice, and he just used it out of desperation because of how far behind he was.
It's possible. It's very possible that he's like, you know what? I just lost so much already. Screw it. Let's go. I'm already ahead 1-0. Let's see. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, we're just going to try something.
Yeah. Oh my god. Regardless, whether it was pre-planned or something off the cuff on the fly, GG. Very well played there by HeRoMaRinE. Very well played.
Yeah, HeRoMaRinE taking the 2-0 and looking pretty dominant. I think he was pretty far behind in that game, and for him to bring it back, especially with that multitask near the end, I think it just shows that he does have a little bit of a leg up on Zoun at the moment, so he will be going on to the winners match.
Congratulations to HeRoMaRinE. He moves on there to face the winner of our next series. Zoun is knocked down to the elimination match. We'll get more of Zoun later on, but he's gonna have to sit tight here and wait for our next matchup. And the TvPs continue because now we have Showtime versus Special.